Welcome back, Shalligators. Today, we are reviewing the latest installment of Demi Lovato's increasingly disastrous documentary series, Dancing with the Devil, that is currently on YouTube. Now, if you've been following my series that I've been doing, you know that I start out with a really open mind. Like, you know what? I love Demi. We're rooting for her. At this point in the game, after watching this, I have never been more convinced that this girl is either going to OD again, or she's just going to be a lifelong drug user. What am I basing that on? Literally her saying, I am going to keep using drugs. So this installment is called Rebirthing. I don't have to tell you guys how much it bothers me that rebirthing is lowercase and then Dancing with the Devil is properly capitalized. I don't need to talk about it because I talk about it I don't need to talk about it again. It's fine. So she goes into more about her overdose, more about her future and her sexuality, and talks a little bit, but only a little bit, which is a data point, about her relationship with that homeless, hairy doofus, Max Ehrich, or whatever his name is. No picture available. He's a complete doofus. So one thing she said in this, she was talking about the end of their relationship because he wasn't there for the right reasons, to go into the Bachelor's catchphrase. And it got me to thinking about betrayal. How do you move on from a major betrayal? And we've talked about this before, how to get past cheating and stuff in context of with that person. Like, how do you repair the interpersonal relationship you have with that dude who cheated on you? This time, we're going to talk about how to fix it in ourselves, how to get in a mindset where Demi said very clearly, she's like, I don't know how I would ever give my heart to someone again. We're going to tell you how, because of course I know. And we're going to break down this whole garbage fire of a documentary. But before we get into it, you want to talk dicks? You want to talk penises? Penis size, circumcision? I do. Head over to flays.com. I just put an excerpt of my circumcision video up on my Instagram, and it's getting a ton of traffic on IGTV because people want to know about circumcised and uncircumcised penises. I did a whole video breaking it down. Flays is our uncensored ad-free platform where we can really talk the trash that YouTube is too sensitive about. I've also got a video on how to tell if a guy's going to have a big dick, what the ideal size is. What do you do if you encounter a really big one or a really small one? So head over there. We've got a story time coming up later this week on I've kind of reached a decision about children, so it's a big moment in my life. And next week we're going to do a video on how to be on top. I can't film it here because my mom's here. I can't do it. So head on over there for that. Also, if you would like a video shout out with me, head over to Cameo to book a pep talk, birthday wish for a friend, anything like that. If you are in the UK or Canada, you can find me on Memo. That's sort of the international platform for stuff like this. And if you have a love question you would like answered, head to shallonlester.com where you can submit one to me and I get back to you in a few days. It's super fun. And I also am going to put up a video. It's going to be a little late to the party because it's about Easter, but Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker spent Easter together. So I'm going to do a video on how to blend families, some real tips on how to make sure your families get along or how to make sure your family likes your boyfriend, they like you, all that good stuff. I've got step-by-step ways to do it and avoid minefields like politics and all that stuff. So Demi, where do we even fucking begin breaking down how toxic this thing is? So one thing you guys brought up to me, and several of you guys said this about the previous episodes, is there is this distinct lack of shame. Now I don't mean shame like body shame, that slut shaming. No. I mean the shame we all feel when we put people who love us through absolute hell. The embarrassment. You know what anxiety is? When you have a hangover and you're so anxious, do you drink and the next morning you're everyone's mad at me, my life is in shambles, I'm just mass apologizing and people are you ate pizza, you were fine, you didn't do anything. It's your serotonin so whacked out, you're just everyone's mad at me. That's kind of why I don't really drink anymore. I never had an issue with drinking. I've done a story time about it, but it's just the cost outweighed the benefits. The next day I would just be so anxious all day and I would feel so bad, even though I didn't do anything. I did not see one shred of that from Demi. Not one. I never heard her say one time, I feel wrenched and gutted about what I put my mother through, my sisters through, my friends through. Didn't hear it once, not one time, throughout this entire documentary. I remember when I was in college, I was 21 and I went on a wine tour with my friends. We went to school in Cal Poly, so it's wine country. I only had like the tastes at the vineyards because I didn't love wine. Girls were chugging bottles of wine in the bus between vineyards. And somehow I was blacked out. I'm a big lightweight. When I say blacked out, I think I peed in a movie theater. I ate food off of other people's plates, strangers' plates at a restaurant when my boyfriend came to get me. It has been a decade plus, cowboy. And I feel, I'm like, oh my God, I just want to die. And I didn't drink wine for 12 years. 12. It was not even a consideration that I was going to have wine. I wasn't trying to justify it to myself or other people or anything. I was just like, I don't want anything to do with this because I don't want to feel the way I felt. I don't want to feel this shame, this wine shame. Still, all this time, I just want to like curl up like, Did you see any of that from Demi? Nope. Her body language was like this. It was defiant. It was relaxed, open, almost combative. Yeah, I've had my issues with drugs. We have talked about all of the different qualifiers she has said in these interviews. And oh my God, and these enabling ass people in her life. I'm sorry, dude. This guy, Scott, with his weird yarmulke beanie, he has got to go. He has got to go. He is such an enabler. He is such a hanger on. He's one of those guys like, yes, whatever, queen, do what you want. You want to be sober? Yes. Oh, wait, you want to drink? Yes. You want to eat? Yes. You want to not eat? Yes. Like, you are not a real friend to her. You are just there for the party. You are there for the clout. Don't even fucking get me started on Blue Wig over here. This motherfucker, she's supposed to be a sober companion. First of all, she uses the word lit like it's 2017. We are past that. She's supposed to be a sober companion. And what did she say? I wrote it down. I'm not saying she should be sober. I don't necessarily think she should be sober. You're a sober companion. What? These are the people around her. I feel like I'm jumping around. I'm sorry. So let's start at the beginning of this. Who comes on the screen first? Christina Aguilera. And what does she say about Demi Lovato? She's just so real. Is she? I don't think Demi's real. I think she has weaponized confessionals to further whatever her agenda is. And her agenda seems to be justifying anything she wants to do. There was a point in this documentary where Demi's like, I'm just such a black and white thinker. You know, I equated a drink to having one drink to like using a crack pipe. Are you 6 years old? That does not to me say that you're a black and white thinker. It says you're extremely juvenile and lack critical thinking skills. But here's the thing. She's not a black and white thinker at all. She is the queen of self-justification. That's the inverse of black and white. Black and white is, that's bad, I don't do it. To drink, do drugs is immoral, unhealthy, whatever, I don't do it. Going to church is good. Working out is good. That is black and white thinking, not like, well, yeah, I OD'd so bad I can't drive and there's a constant ringing in my ears and I have blind spots. But maybe. How is that fucking black and white? So we have Christina Aguilera starting off this dog and pony show of celebrity endorsements, which I think is extremely calculated because on some level, the producers maybe watch this back and they're like, they're not going to be on her side. Like the audience is not going to be on Demi's side. She looks like a drug addict spending hours on camera justifying her behavior. So let's bring in some celebs. Nothing gets people on your side better than a celebrity endorsement. It's called bandwagon appeal. Then you have Will Ferrell, who I didn't know if he was there as like a joke. Like, you know, he does stuff like this. And he's like, you know, people either love me or hate me. Who hates Will Ferrell? Who? Reveal yourselves. He went to my high school. We were the same position on ASB, like student body president. He was PR commissioner. And then like, you know, when I was in high school, I was PR commissioner. We did the announcements and he was just amazing and I was terrible at it. And so I have like a deep abiding love for Will Ferrell. I am not saying the man's entire cinematic collection is fantastic. Watson and Holmes was basically unwatchable. So was Eurovision, which is the movie Demi was in. But who hates Will Ferrell? If you say you hate Will Ferrell, I am blocking you and deleting you. I will find you and I will change your mind. Anyway, then comes Elton John, the king of drugs. Like, we know him now as this like fanciful old gay man, but he was like the drug guy back in the day. Like he went to rehab a bunch of times. He was doing insane amounts of coke and all this stuff. And so it's interesting that all these people, it's like, oh, Demi, like, she's so real and we just love her. Okay, cool. Like a bunch of narcissists talking about another narcissist. Neat. I'm just going to run through the laundry list of other red flags in this video. Let's see. It doesn't work for me to say I'm done with drugs. She said that. It doesn't work for me. And what did we say last time in the video? That her idiot fans have come out of the woodwork on my videos commenting, she tried to be sober. It doesn't work for her. And I made the analogy of a man who tried to ask consent before he had sex with someone, but that didn't work for him. So he just like had to rape a bunch of people. The logic holds. But you know what, fans? Hey, you guys, I can't really blame you for coming up with this rhetoric because your girl says it herself. It doesn't work for me to be sober. I can't say I'm 100% done with it. You can't. You can't say you're done doing drugs after an OD, after multiple rehab stints, after all the continued physical fallout of that. Really? Okay. And then she'll say, I just wish sometimes I could get some relief from like weed or something. Relief from what? Relief from what? Being alive? Stress? Heartbreak? Grow the fuck up, Demi. I'm sorry, grow the fuck up. Like, this is what's so infuriating. It's like she does this whole documentary of all that she's learned and then she undercuts it with statements like this. I need relief. Girl, you need some coping mechanisms. You need some coping mechanisms. I'm not saying life's not going to get hard and that we're going to struggle. And we all want a way out when we're in pain. Went through a breakup. I need a fucking drink. How many times it's been a long day? I need a drink. A lot of us can say that, and we can do it because we haven't had the extreme reactions to these sort of vices that Demi has. I'm sure she looks around at people who can smoke some weed, who can do some coke here and there, who can drink, can eat the chocolate cake, and she's like, why can't I? I don't know, Demi. Why can't you? Maybe part of it is because you're not actually acknowledging that you can't. But we have to talk about her hair, right? Because she kind of closed the documentary, she's shaving her hair off. This is what I've noticed Demi does, performative things. I'm shaving my hair, I'm writing a song, I'm getting a tattoo. That is not the work. She does these performative things that are gonna give her a lot of applause. Oh, like, blah, 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 blah. But this is not the work. She does these very performative things. And again, that's not the actual work. It's giving her the yay, the applause. And then she's like, I've done a thing. Yay. I don't have to actually like go to therapy. True self-improvement is a very quiet thing. It's lonely. We talked about this on my Instagram actually recently. Like it's a worship. One of you guys posted this quote. Healthy living, independence is not an aesthetic. It's not a vibe. It's not a tattoo. It's not a haircut. It's not a song. It is a worship built to last. And those things take a lot of time to create, right? You have to really do a lot of work. Hello. He's like, I want attention. You have to do that work. Demi's not doing it. When she says I'm a black and white person, no, she's an extreme person. That's not the same as black and white. Not the same at all. If she was spending time getting to the root of why she was so extreme, why she was self-destructive, why she's a chronic self-justifier for very unhealthy behaviors, maybe she would have some awareness that like, okay, I can have a beer once in a while. I can smoke weed. I personally don't think she's there. Maybe one day she'll get there, but also like listening to the other people in her orbit, including this fucking like case manager at her rehab, like she's finding her path. She's still finding her path. She's learning what works for her. That is a completely acceptable statement if you're talking about, I don't know, your foundation or clothes or who you like to date or where you like to live. Experimenting with boundaries is actually probably not healthy for someone who OD'd and almost died. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. And look, I'm not saying that this all or nothing rhetoric around recovery and addiction is the right path. I do think it's extreme for a lot of people. I think for a lot of people, they can find a medium. I do not think Demi is one of those people. Her like use of weed, why do you think they call it the fucking gateway drug? Why do you think they call it that? Do you think people who are completely sober and maybe just had a bad day, it's like, may I please get one fentanyl? May I get one drug? Can I get a glass of drug? No, it starts and it goes up, right? We learned this in 6th grade. I've talked before about how a lot of stuff we learn, my dog's back there, and like the dare stuff is not always the case. Like, not every drug is going to kill you. It's not going to ruin your life. But the ones Demi does, yeah, no, those will. What else does she say? Oh, I took notes. Oh, here's this. This was rich. I deal with depression on a level most people don't understand, and that's why I've turned to drugs. How dare you, Demi? Honestly, how dare you say something like that? Are you dealing with depression on a level nobody understands? She veers wildly from this, I'm a lion and I'm in control of everything, to nobody understands and no one's listening to me. We said this in the last video. She tries to claim nobody was listening to her. And yet, at the same time, one sentence before, I have a case manager, a day-to-day manager, a financial manager, a this manager, a therapist, a nutritionist, a hypnotist, fucking blue wig over there. So, wait a minute. You do have people listening to you because they're always around you and they're controlling you, as you say, or you're completely on your own and no one's listening to you and no one's there for you. Never mind your millions of fans. Never mind them. Which is it? It is whatever it needs to be, again, to justify her own behavior. Demi has just justifications. I deserve to do drugs. I deserve to do a thing that's going to terrorize and torture everyone in my life who loves me. I deserve to do a thing that's going to completely erode this business empire that a lot of people depend on. Backup dancers, lighting directors, sound mixers. Fuck them. Fuck all of you. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. The only one who matters is me. Oh, I'm sorry. You're dealing with sadness because you can't pay your bills because I canceled my tour. Fuck you. It doesn't matter. It's about me. I get to do drugs. Sorry. Wait, you have a problem? No. I'm the only one that has a problem. It's these messianic statements, this messiah complex that no one suffers like her. She's nailing herself to her cross all the time. And it's like, again, how dare you make statements like this? How many people are suffering in the world? I've always said, I don't ever want to be seen as a victim. I don't want to portray myself as a victim. It makes my skin crawl. I would always rather veer towards braggy. Because you know what? If you're flexing on a cool vacation or a nice car, at least that might be escapism for someone, or it's inspirational. It's just fun to look at. Who is having fun looking at a victim? Who has fun listening to a victim? You have victims in your own life. They're annoying as fuck. They monopolize every dinner. Everything's about them. They are the worst friends in the world. When I was clinically depressed, I take antidepressants. I deal with it like an adult. I was the worst friend. I was awful. I didn't care about anyone else. No one else's problems mattered because no one's was as big as mine. Oh, your mom has cancer? Well, I got dumped. It's not what I said, but I didn't not feel that way. I could see that other people were in pain, but it just didn't matter to me. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And isn't that Demi? All right, girl, you do put whatever you want up your nose. Don't come crying to us when it goes bad, and it will. And you know who said it? Elton John. He had said, I saw this quote floating around the internet a few weeks ago, like, moderation doesn't work. Sorry. If you have one drink, you want to have another. You take one pill, you're probably going to take more. I didn't know he was involved in this documentary. I kind of thought he was just crawling out of the woodwork, but I still was gang for Elton. He knows what he's talking about. He's been sober 30 years. But no, he knows her and was like, nope, doesn't work. Sorry. I think it does work for some people. I mean, I'm not an addiction specialist, but I have seen moderation work. For someone on Elton's level, someone on Demi's level, where it's pathological, no, I don't think moderation works. You guys, I want to know your thoughts. A lot of you guys have people in your lives who are addicts. Have you heard this rhetoric before? Because a lot of times in the comments on these previous ones, you're like, this sounds a lot like my brother. Sounds a lot like my sister-in-law. I have heard this bullshit before, and you know where it led? Another stint in rehab, another call, they're getting their stomach pumped, another DUI. I don't know why Demi thinks she's so immune to this. Like I said, she's famous. She's not suffering any legal consequences for this, obviously. Can we talk about the shroom room? It's this room in her house. It's very fantastical and rainbow and puffy clouds. And it's very psychedelic. And it's funny that she made sure to say on camera, I mean, you don't have to do shrooms here. No. Oh, of course not. No. Her gay hanger on. Of course not. No. But it's just it reminds you of doing drugs. what the fuck kind of person who's committed to sobriety has a room that reminds you of doing drugs? Let's put this in terms of weight loss, right? You're really trying to lose weight. You tell everyone you're trying to lose weight. I don't want to be fat anymore. I'm getting the bypass surgery. But here's a room in my house that's decorated like JoJo Siwa's bedroom. There's candy everywhere, big giant posters of donuts. It's fetishizing the one thing you shouldn't be doing. You would look at a person who has like the calorie room and being like, yeah, man, I don't know if this like is going to last. Why would you even make a room that reminds you of stuff you're trying to avoid? And then call it that. The binge room. There's a vomitorium in the corner, so you can just binge like that. I mean, not that you would, but like if you wanted to, it's there. So the fact that she even made this room, that she thinks this is funny and cute, she's not done with drugs, man. And like Elton said, it's a very slippery slope. Very slippery slope, right? Then her poor assistant, this like seemingly very normal chick who like the one who found her when she was overdosed. She found her because she had to go over there and wake her up. She had to wake up a 27-year-old grown woman, someone who's been a professional since she was 15. She had to wake her up in the morning because Demi couldn't even be trusted to do that small bit of adulthood. That was too much. And I said, if you can't even get yourself out of bed, man, you got some problems. You got problems. If you have to outsource consciousness, becoming conscious in the morning, not a good sign. Not a good sign. But she said, and this is how the documentary closed, with all these like, we believe in you, Demi, all these things from her employees who are not great. She knows her limits, the assistant said. She knows her limits. Okay. Yeah, no, obviously. So that OD was like totally purposeful, for sure. Then her mom comes on. Her mom is a real piece of work. Talk about a stage mom. She is like, that woman is Dina Lohan 2.0. She says, nothing that she's doing in this moment, referring to drugs, nothing that she's doing in this moment will land her in the ICU. So yeah, she's okay. What? Is everyone, I was going to say on drugs, but I mean, they might be. Demi, girl, you don't have a snowball shot in hell. It is all over but the shout. And if these are the people you have in your life, your literal sober coach, Blue Wig, is like, I mean, she doesn't have to be sober. But you know what? We cannot outsource our inner strength. We can't do it. We can't. I don't care if you have a world full of enablers. Get rid of them. Take some fucking responsibility for your behavior. You're an adult. No, you don't have the resources Demi Lovato has. And I've spoken before about how galling it is that she has all of these things at her disposal. And she's like, no, you're trying to control me. They're trying to keep their business asset alive. This is work, sweetheart. So let's now talk about her ex. I'm done shredding Demi. The too long didn't read is she's going to relapse and it's going to be bad. She even says, she's like, I'm a cat. I've got 9 lives. I don't know how many I have left. You aren't a cat. Cats don't even have 9 lives. Where are you getting this from? She clearly thinks she's invincible. She thinks drugs are cute and funny. She's fetishized them. She's justifying everything she's doing. Girl, just book the hospital bed right now. Book the bed at the new rehab. Book the tombstone, because this is where it's heading. She's not honest about the severity of her problems. She is resentful of the control people are trying to exert in her life, which is not control. It is business adherence. She needs to show up and produce her product. It is, we're worried about you. And she views all of that as just bratty control. Why? Because she's like stuck at 15. Whatever, girl. I mean, I don't have a lot of empathy here. She has more resources than anyone. I don't have empathy for her. I have empathy for like an Iraq vet who gets back and can't afford mental health help. Hi, Fanny. Hi, little snouts. You want to come up here? Okay. I reserve empathy for people at the border. I reserve my empathy for people who've lost their job in a pandemic. None of these people are Demi. Come on up here. Come on. Don't knock the light over. But I do have empathy for Demi in one specific category. This breakup with this homeless hairy man. Name not found. Photo not available, right? She said something that was so resonant. She said, I was mourning who I thought he was. right? And then her friend's like, yeah, and you were mourning what you thought your life was going to be. Man, right? Have we not all been there? Okay. Betrayal. Okay, well, let's talk about betrayal. All right. I get questions from you guys all the time, right? I get questions about fuckboys and this and that. And I've said before, it never, ever comes down to, I didn't know. I didn't know he was doing it. I didn't know. Almost always, 99% of the time, it comes down to, if I really dig and if you're really honest, it comes down to, I knew. I just didn't want to face it. I saw flashes of this and I didn't want to face it. I've been there. I'm talking to myself right now. I had someone who I loved, thought they were my life partner. Yeah, a few other girls thought that they were his life partner too. So, and I could act blindsided. And I was blindsided in terms of like volume and degrees of severity. But when I'm honest with myself, no, that behavior wasn't very surprising. I'd seen flashes of it. I'd seen warning signs. I'd seen red flags from the beginning. And when I was going through this breakup, my mom's friend, hi, Dr. T, hi. My friend Colleen's mom, Dr. Terry, she's a fantastic psychologist. She's worked with Dr. Phil. She's like my own personal Jesus. She's like, I want you to tell me about the very first interaction you had with him, the very first one. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, we had a really cute date. And she's like, the first moment that you were like, And it was, we were like making out on the street, like after a date. And I was like, okay, I'm going upstairs. And he's like, you don't want to fuck? She's like, there it is. That's it. Isn't this whole fallout, all this cheating, doesn't that circle back to that? And I'm like, yeah. Had we broken up because he wouldn't mingle finances with me if we lived together, then maybe that first red flag interaction was, I think we should split the check. And you know what? You had 2 Diet Cokes, so you owe $5 more. There was a red flag there. I heard it. I saw it. It gave me pause. And then I was like, whatever. I ignored it. And it's tough because you don't want to like throw the baby out with the bathwater. You're going to see red flags in people. I'm not perfect. I don't even want to know what red flags guys see with me. Blah. But what I've said before, that like the first fight you have is the last fight you have. The first thing that you're like, I can't take this, and you snap, it's because it actually is a big deal, right? That's usually what's going to lead to you guys breaking up in the long run. I mean, and same with us. The first time we had a big fight and I stopped talking to him for a week, it's because some other girl was in my DMs being like, who the fuck, why are you with him? He's my boyfriend. And I was like, I will break your jaw if you come around. No, he's not. What are you talking about? Idiot. I mean, she was a bitch and a half, and I have no regrets how I dealt with her. But like, I have a lot of regrets how I dealt with him. Yeah. Right? So I'm not trying to make you feel worse, because I know you're like, well, now I feel betrayed and stupid. No, baby girl. No. Not stupid. Never stupid. But I'm saying this because I said this in the podcast, we talked about this a lot. If we allow ourselves to feel like, well, I had no control and I didn't see anything, I was just completely blindsided, then we feel like we have no power in life. We feel like a child, a jellyfish just drifting around. That's not a good way to feel, because there's no way you can tell yourself you have absolutely no power in one category, but I'm a boss bitch and a great friend and I can lose all this weight. No, you can't. Nope. If you're powerless in one category, honey, you got to tell yourself you have no power in any other one. Welcome to hell. Welcome to a lifelong victim narrative. Welcome to martyrdom. I will not allow this. But if you can say, I had a hand in my outcomes. It's not blame, it's not stupidity, but what was it? Usually it's self-justification that is rooted in desperation. Why did I take back that dude who was horn dogging around, cheating, whatever? Why did I do that? Because I thought, you know what? I just got out of a marriage. I'm 1,000 years old. He's like young and handsome and fresh, and who's going to love me? Who else will love me? You know? Who's going to accept me? Who's going to accept my weird career? Who's going to accept my non-traditional lifestyle? Only he will. Well, now I look back and it's like, maybe he was doing all that to keep me passive and like, oh, okay. So that I turned a blind eye to things, But when I say it now, who else is going to love me? I don't know. The 8 boyfriends I've had since who are hotter and better in bed. I don't know. It sounds crazy that that's what I was telling myself. And if you look at what you told yourself, the fear story, it's probably going to sound a little crazy too. And I want it to. I want you to remove, though, any sort of embarrassment that you pair with that. We've talked before. There's a difference between pain and suffering. Pain is my fucking boyfriend's cheating. Hi, Fanny. Back again. Pain is my boyfriend is cheating. Suffering is the story we apply to the pain. He's cheating because I'm not good enough. I can't leave him. No one will love me. I'm so stupid. Why didn't I see that? When you start to veer into that, stop. I'm in so much pain and I'm in pain because I'm so stupid. I want you to flip that to this like punishment that you're giving yourself and this like horrible dressing down and bawling out. 2, I'm in pain because he cheated on me because I ignored red flags because what? Told myself no one was going to love me. Don't chew on that light. Because I wasn't really dealing with the issues I had at work, so I was just pouring everything into this bullshit relationship to feel like my life had purpose. Now we're getting somewhere. You might still feel embarrassed. You might still feel icky, but it's forward icky. It's forward moving pain. It's grief with a purpose. Cowboy, do not do that. Not the light. It is pain that serves you. Because otherwise, you're just in this loop. You're in this loop of why? I'm in pain. He's not who I thought I was. This life is over. What's my future? And you're not getting anything. Like Nelson Mandela says, we never lose. We win or we learn. So let's learn. It sucks. That's why it's called growing pains. It fucking sucks. So that's the first step, right? The second step is, Demi herself said it, how could I give my heart to anyone again? I felt that, right? I felt that so hard because that's how you feel in the moment. You just feel so exhausted. Liebschmüde is, I'm probably not saying it, Liebschmüde. It means life tired. It's a German word. And I love it. My friends were always like, ich Liebschmüde. I am life tired. It's not suicidal. It's just like, I am tired of being alive. Like this shit again, right? And that's how we feel after a betrayal. It's like I poured so much into this and the return on investment was so ridiculous. It was non-existent, right? Okay, well, we're going to look at the red flags we ignored. We're going to look at why we ignored them. And then we're going to give ourselves a break. Because yeah, that exhaustion, how can I give my heart to anyone again? Honey, you don't have to right now. You don't have to. After my last breakup, I really committed to being very single for a very long time. Cowboy, stop it. No. Don't pull the light apart. Come up here if you want to say hi. Do you want to say hi? Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, come up here. You are dying to get on the couch every other minute. Oh, come on. Okay. Child star. They're very fickle. Anyway. You're sitting over there. Are you the goodest boy in the world? At times. Okay. What were we talking about? Oh, yes. You don't have to give your heart away. As Demi herself saying, give your heart a break. Work on you. Work on dismantling the tape loops that led you down this path in the first place. Okay, if you threw everything into this relationship because like Demi, you didn't really want to focus on, truly the mental aspect of why you had an overdose, honey, do the work. Or this is going to be a rinse repeat situation. Copy paste, you're going to be right back here. Can you not tear up my notes just because it's loud on camera? The next thing you're going to do, look around. Where are you? Are you in your home? Do you still have your home? Sometimes we don't. Look at your phone. Have you heard from your friends? Family? Are you still going to work? Are you still healthy? Can you see? Can you speak? Can you hear? Are you alive? Yeah, you are. And if you're watching this video, you're not just alive, you're thriving. Why? You're like, I am very much not thriving right now. You're thriving because you want to be better. You're watching these words right now because you don't want to be like this. You don't want to be in a fear state, a victim narrative, a pain spiral. You don't want that. You want something better for yourself, don't you? Okay. This tells me that, yeah, you got betrayed, you got conned, swindled, your time's wasted. First of all, your time wasn't wasted if you learned. It's not then this wasn't a breakup. This was a graduation, right? You don't look back at 4 years of college. You're like, what a fucking waste. It's like, well, what do you mean? You got your diploma. Yeah, but it took 4 years. I wasted 4 years. You didn't waste 4 years. You spent 4 years learning. Same here. You wasted 5 years with the dude? Nope. You spent 5 years learning. If you decide that you learned from it. If you don't, then yeah, you did waste it. If you want to sit down and get real with yourself about why you did it, why you ignored red flags, what you told yourself, and dismantle those things, you just graduated. You did. Put that tassel to the other side, right? So, you went through all of this, and you're still here, thriving. Why do I say this? I say this because when we get hurt, and I hear this from you guys all the time, I don't know how to put myself back out there. I don't know how I can ever trust again. I look at your stories of that you see as corrosive and tragic and everything, and it's like, honey, this is not a victim story. This is a champion story. Exactly. You went through all this stuff, and you're still here. When I was getting divorced, I said this before, everything that I was afraid of happening, losing my home, losing my status as a wife, losing my life partner, losing my future, everything I was afraid of, it happened. Everything. Every single thing on the list happened. Yep. And as it was happening, I felt like I was in this ghastly video game. I would check in with myself and I'd be like, but I'm actually still here. I had good moments today. I didn't have 100 good moments. There were some moments I cried. I still have my friends. I have my career. I have my health. I have my family. It didn't actually kill me. I thought it was going to, but it actually didn't. So wait a minute. If I can survive every worst nightmare happening, I'm like a fucking X-Man. I'm an emotional X-Man. I'm an emotional X-Man. I can survive anything. So I'm not going to be afraid of anything. I'm not going to be afraid to try something and fail. I'm not going to be afraid to give my heart away because, hey, he breaks my heart. I mean, in some ways, there's no heart to break. Like, I don't give myself away in the same way. I'm smarter because I've learned. But I'm also confident that if things go bad, if I get left at the altar, if he cheats on me with my best friend, I'm going to survive it. Because I survived this, which was my own personal doomsday, right? So I can survive anything. And then that setback is a setup, isn't it? This is not a victim story. This is a champion story. This is not the end of this. This is part of a larger, happy ending. That's how you move on from betrayal. It's not going to kill you. You're surviving it right now. Yeah, it's painful, of course, but you moved on. It's like people who have scars. You don't look at someone who's got like an open heart scar as like, whoa. You're like, damn, man, you survived that. You're a fucking warrior. That's crazy. Little kid with their head shaved because of cancer. You're not like, loser. You're like, you get it. You get it, little one, right? You're like gassed up for them. Look at what you've been through. You should not be afraid of anything now. You should go out there with this radioactive zeal for life. But again, you don't have to. You could solipsize into a victim story. You could tell yourself, this is going to kill me. I can never love again. All right. Self-fulfilling prophecy. You're probably right. How am I going to put myself out there? Going to have trust issues? Grow the fuck up. Come on. No. Trust issues are for weaklings. You're not a weakling. You're a champion. If you choose to be, right? You can move through life applying, like stretching out the life of this trauma forever. Or you can look around and be like, actually there's kids at the border. There's homeless moms. There's people getting killed in Iraq. Okay, this fuckboy ghosting me. I can deal with it. I can roll with it. I'm going to take a little eyedropper of that shame, and shame is very useful to get us out of our victim narratives. And I'm going to feel really blessed. I'm going to feel super grateful. Okay. And then I'm going to move forward. And I'm going to look at that chapter as a hard lesson, but a lesson nonetheless. And today, I graduate. I want to know what you guys have to say about Demi. Are there more installments of this? I almost hope it goes on forever because it's just, I love ranting about this. We've got more videos to come this week. Like I said, head on over to Flay's Shalligators for some sexy tutorials. I'll see you later, Gators.